coverage you can count on continues. This is WGAL News 8 at 4.
Good afternoon. I'm Janelle Stelson.
I'm Mike Straub. A warning for Lancaster County drivers after some say the excessive heat is melting the roads.
Firefighters battle a fire in this heat with the flames forcing 2 families out of their homes.
And it's not Independence Day just yet, but police in Lebanon say they've already responded to several fires caused by fireworks.
But the top story on News 8 at 4 is this heat wave. Temperatures are not yet over 100 degrees, but it sure feels like it if you've been out. You can almost feel the heaviness when you look at News 8 sky cams there. Chief Meteorologist Joe Calhoun is outside. Talk fast, Joe.
Yeah, it was you aren't envious of me coming out today, I'll tell you that much. The ground's getting a little dry too. Keep that in mind when you're doing your celebrating this weekend. But first of all, temperatures, mid-90s out there. Yes, it feels like it's over 100 in many locations. Now, that heat warning continues up till 8 o'clock. No advisory yet for tomorrow, but I'll check on that again. The National Weather Service has not confirmed that yet. But I'm seeing a few of these little clouds bubbling up, and there are a few isolated showers. There's one just east of Lancaster right now. Moderate shower, nothing severe, but hey, you get underneath one of these, you can get a pretty good downpour, but they're going to be pretty spotty up till about 7, 8 o'clock, then they'll die down, but we're still in the 80s. So take it easy out there through the evening. I'll take a look at the 4th of July, and yes, some relief. That comes in this weekend. We'll talk about that coming up.
Boy, we'll believe that when we see it, huh? It is so hot that some people are saying the roads look like they're melting.
WGAL News 8's Caitlin Smith is live in Upper Laycock Township in Lancaster County.
Forest Hill Road is one of those roads, and in fact, it is now closed. It just closed within the last hour or so that crews can add more stones to it. Take a look at the roadway. You can see that it looks like it's a mess, and this is not the only road that the township is concerned about. It did add a sign like this one, warning drivers to slow down because there is wet oil on the road. The Public Works Director tells us that this road was just resurfaced back in September, and that's when crews added what is called an oil and chip treatment. So they put oil on the asphalt to seal it and keep water from getting into it, and then they add the stones on top to get some traction. But PennDOT says if the right amount of oil and stones isn't used, that oil can get so hot, which it is right now, that the stones will not stay on the road.
I worry about the vehicle more than anything, getting tar on it. I even eliminated this road if I can, but I couldn't today.
He was traveling on Hess Road. The township says it and Eby Road are having similar issues. Even as I'm walking across this road, you can feel that tar just sticking on the bottom of your feet here, and you can imagine what it's doing to some cars. That driver we talked to said, you heard him, he's worried about the tar on his car. So far, the township says it has not heard any complaints, though. So this road, Forest Hill Road, is closed. But for now, those other two, Eby Road and Hess Road, they remain open. The township says it is monitoring them. In Lancaster County, Caitlin Smith, WGAL News 8.
Covering York, where 2 families are forced out of their homes after an overnight fire. It happened on York's west side, and firefighters were really feeling the heat as well. WGAL News 8's Ed Weinstock covers York and joins us live from the scene.
Yeah, even at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was hot out here. 3 firefighters, 1 to the hospital, 2 for heat exhaustion, 1 after he tripped over a fire hose. But for the families out here, it was especially painful for those whose homes were heavily damaged. The fire was traced to the rear of a condemned house in the 500 block of West King Street. The cause is still under investigation. The fire chief says the house was still getting electrical service, although other utilities had been shut off. The flames jumped to homes on each side of the structure.
I see the smoke and then everybody run out. I try to save the most I can. I saved the 2 dogs and then 1 passed away.
Another family lost their home. Ray Torres was on vacation 5 hours away when the call about the fire came in. The family rushed back. Ray told me that there is a lot of damage to his house, including holes in the walls and the roof. In York, Ed Weinstock, WGAL News 8.
A 19-year-old woman turned herself into police in Dauphin County on homicide charges in the death of her 10-month-old daughter. Andrea Dale faces criminal homicide and endangering the welfare of a child charges. Lower Paxton Township Police say Dale left her daughter alone in a bathtub on March 1st. The baby was found unresponsive. She was taken to a hospital where she later died.
A Lancaster County man faces several sex crime charges involving a 7-year-old. New Holland police arrested Mark Brown on 4 counts of rape of a child and other charges. Police said the crimes happened over a 2-month period in 2017, both at Brown's home and the New Holland Community Park. Right now, Brown is free after posting a $250,000 bail.
New information on a deadly fire in Perry County. State police have identified the victim as 57-year-old Paulina Mae Schwartz. She was killed in a house fire last night on the 500 block of South 4th Street in Oliver Township. State police say the fire was caused by careless smoking in the victim's bedroom. The Red Cross is helping 4 adults who survived.
In Dauphin County, Swatara Township police are asking for help identifying 2 suspected arsonists. They say these 2, take a good look, poured gasoline onto a building on the 2900 block of Revere Street. Then they lit the gas. They were recorded on a security camera from a neighboring business.
Covering Lebanon, where city police say they've already responded to at least 2 fires caused by fireworks ahead of Independence Day.
WGAL News 8's Barbara Barr has the latest from Lebanon.
While sales of aerial fireworks have expanded in Pennsylvania, Lebanon's fire commissioner wants to remind residents that old rules are still in place.
City firefighters put out 2 fires in the back of Canal Street row homes. No one was hurt, but the commissioner says a city ordinance bans setting off fireworks within 15 feet of buildings and vehicles.
Well, it's really dangerous. The city's rule of 15 feet takes away fireworks from most houses in the city.
He posted what is legal and what isn't in the city on Twitter. And he also wants to update the city ordinance to specifically address setting off aerial fireworks.
The fire commissioner says if you want to enjoy fireworks, you can always enjoy the professional display at Coleman Park on the 4th of July. In Lebanon, Barbara Barr, WGAL News 8.
This afternoon on News 8 at 4, we're exploring the Cherry Crest Adventure Farm in Lancaster County.
WGAL News 8's Corinne Lillis tells us about this year's corn maze.
So you may not like the heat, but you know what? The corn does. I'm told that it grows up to 6 inches a day, and they actually like it. It's a little lower right now than normal, and they say that's good because that means, Brian, right, it's going to last a little longer in the fall. It'll stay greener. Stay greener.
Correct. It's going to be a little greener in the fall when we have our flashlight mazes and all the fun things in the fall. So a little bit shorter now, but it's still challenging because now you can see where you need to go, but you can't get there because you have to follow the path around. So it makes it a little bit of fun that way.
And this year, the maze is a little different. Tell me about the theme, the inspiration.
So this year's theme is Game Board Madness. And what we did, we made 12 game stations out there that you need to find and play the farm life game. And there's a scratch off on the game board itself, which is new. And so part of that is you get to roll some dice, you get to make some words out there and spin a wheel to see what you win, or there's a negative number that may take your money stockpile back rather than going forward. So that's, which is farming. Sometimes you got to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm. You know what? This sounds like a maze for competitive people.
Absolutely.
And they're open tomorrow for 4th of July. So if you want to bring the family out tomorrow, stop on by. Back to you.
Next on WGAL News 8 at 4, newly released surveillance photos give an up-close look at a man police say tried to cash checks stolen from a mail drop box.